Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Anita Newby and I am going to be reviewing another movie for you today. Today I'm going to be reviewing The United States versus Billie Holiday. This movie was released, I think, in February of 2021 on Hulu. It's a Hulu original and it tells the story of the incomparable Lady Day. Well, it tells a bit of her story, but we're going to talk about that today. So I hope you hang on and stay tuned in for my review of The United States versus Billie Holiday. The United States versus Billie Holiday. Wow, what a work. What a magnificent work. I'm going to approach this review a little bit differently because it's Billie Holiday. And you may not know, but I have a special attachment to Billie Holiday. So I approach this with honor and with a little bit of reverence because her story deserves to be told. All the things that she experienced and she went through, and I'm glad that people are telling her story in different ways. And you may or may not be familiar with the story of Lady Day, so I can give you a little bit of background. I won't go into it too much. You may have seen, Lady Sings the Blues with Diana Ross, or you may have, had the opportunity to see Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill. Audra Day did a fabulous performance of that, which was on HBO for quite a while. It may still be there. But these all show different aspects of Billie Holiday in her life. What a jazz legend, what a groundbreaker, what a trailblazer, probably in ways that she didn't know and understand, and the things that she had to go through and the things that she had to deal with. The strength that she had. She died at the age of 44, which is heartbreaking when you think about all the things that she accomplished in the time that she lived in. But boy, did she make her mark. And this particular film, The United States versus Billie Holiday, is talking about a particular aspect of her career and of her life. You may or may not be familiar with the song called Strange Fruit. It is a poem that it was put to music, and it's a song that Lady Day would sing as she was touring and doing different things. This song caused a lot of discomfort and frustration and anger, but it's what her fans wanted to hear. Be ready for this. Brace yourselves. This song is about lynching. It's about what was happening in the South when she would see Black men hanging from trees and being lynched. The song was about that, and it was her expression of that. And what we see in this movie is the government of the United States coming after her to try to make her stop singing that song. And that's the take from this movie, is that they came after her to try to stop her from singing this song because they were saying she would incite riots and different things would happen. But everywhere she go, people would ask her to sing Strange Fruit. And it's a very, very heavy song. And in terms of a film, this film is very, very heavy. The life of Billie Holiday, or Lady Day as she is affectionately and commonly known, is not a victorious story, so to speak. It's not a fairy tale in any means. By any means, some of the things that she went through were horrific. And I have done some extensive research on her life because a couple of years ago, I had the privilege and the honor of playing Lady Day in Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill, and it was a life-changing experience. So I have done a lot of research on her as a person and the song. So I know that the song was very challenging for a lot of people. So you see throughout this movie different events, different times she was playing in clubs, and where the FBI would show up and they would stand, or the law enforcement of that town or that city would come and stand and try to intimidate her from singing her songs. And sometimes the band members would try to tell her, please don't sing that song. But she was an artist and she felt like that's what she had to do. And she wanted to sing the song. There were times where in the movie, as it is portrayed, that they could convince her not to sing it. And there's some times where she was relentless, where she would walk out on the stage and start singing the song, even though it wasn't on their list, because she felt like this was something that needed to be talked about. You know, it's so easy for us to dismiss things that we don't see. But when she began to sing that song about lynching, it put a picture to something that a lot of us wanted to ignore and still choose to ignore to this day. But a very, very compelling movie. It was beautifully done. That's just a little background. That's probably more than you wanted to know, but I would definitely encourage you to watch this movie. First of all, just on the strength that Lady Day is an iconic figure, that she is a legend, that she deserves to be celebrated, even though her life was so short, you know, as we know it. But it just shows so many different sides of things in the movie. It shows how, you know, she was arrested and thrown in jail for having an addiction. And from her perspective, and I know this from reading her biography too, she thought, you know, I'm addicted to drugs and I need help, you know, and they'll put me in rehab because I'm a celebrity. I'm a star. They'll put me in rehab because, you know, like they did Doris Day and others, because I'm a star and that's what they do for celebrities. But, you know, she's Black. So the story is not always the same for Blacks as it is our white counterparts at times. And when she thought she would get help, they threw her in jail. And, you know, it's so interesting. So there's so many dynamics that you want to check out, but you want to see the performance of Andra Day. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Andra, something very close to that. So funny because Audra McDonald played her and then Andra Day played her. So, and her name is Lady Day. It's also interesting to me. But she did a phenomenal job as this character, and she's not a character, as this real life human being. And because I had the honor of playing this person, I know the weight of carrying that role and the weight and the responsibility of you feel of delivering it accurately. And this was Andra Day's first acting role, and she was phenomenal. I mean, bravo to her. She captured so many things, you know, just the sound of Billie Holiday's voice. And you can go back and watch interviews that have her actual voice, you know, and you can listen to her music, and she did so well with the articulation of her voice, and that can be a challenge as an actor, but she did a phenomenal job, and she won the Golden Globe for her performance. So I'm so excited for her that she won for this portrayal. It was beautifully done. The direction was very good. It was directed by Lee Daniels. He also directed The Butler some years ago. I think he has some other credits that I just don't know about. But it was excellent. It had some artistic value. There were some interesting things that happened with the passage of time. There's a particular scene, and I don't want to say too much, but there's a particular scene where Billie Holiday is in real time. She's herself, and then suddenly she shifts to her being a child and some things that she experienced as a child. And I thought that from a cinematic standpoint, it was handled very well. It was very creative. I loved the entrance of the younger Billie Holiday, the younger Lady Day, and her coming back to real time. I thought that was brilliantly done. Now, I will say there were a couple of points where I wondered if there were some scenes that alluded to some other events in Lady Day's life that weren't really expounded on or talked about in the film. And because I have researched her life extensively, I knew exactly what those things were in reference to. I knew exactly what those scenes were in reference to. So I did wonder for a moment if people who did not have that same background on her life would have caught the nuances or understood what was happening in the scenes. And I haven't really debriefed with anybody to know, but there were some places I thought, oh man, you might be a little lost if you don't know her background, but that may not be true. But I do believe, I know from an artistic standpoint, there are definitely things that you can catch in the telling of the story, but it's such a compelling story. It is heavy, so be prepared. I encourage you to watch this movie, especially if you are familiar with Lady Day, if you listen to her music, if you love jazz from that era. I mean, you may not know particular who she is, but you probably know God Bless the Child That's Got His Own, right? You probably remember her rendition of that. And I would just encourage you to watch the film if you have any connection to that. If you really want to know the truth about how things happened for artists in that time period and what it was like to be a Black artist in that time frame, trying to make a mark and trying to have a voice that wasn't controlled by somebody else. If you really want to know truth about that, I encourage you to watch this film, because this will help you get some insight into that. Which I do believe is very important, even for the time we're living in now. You know, sometimes we think, oh, these things happened so long ago. But then when you watch some of these events, you can see flashes of things that happened, you know, last year. So I would encourage you to watch it. I will caution you, it is heavy. It is emotional. The subject matter is not light. It is not for children. It is not for a family night. If you all just finished watching Aladdin, the next movie you watch should not be the United States versus Lady Day. It's not for your children, you know, and you know your children, you know how to gauge what they can handle, but there's very strong language in it. As my understanding, that's the way she spoke, and it is accurate. There is, you know, just the subject matter. There's a lot of talk about, you know, lynching and drug use and those types of things. So it's heavy subject matter. And if you're going to watch this as a family project or with your family, be prepared to have conversations, hard conversations. And, you know, some of those conversations are needed. There is a lot of, I don't know whether a lot is the right term, there is significant nudity and sexual interaction in this movie. So if that's not something that you are able to sit through and watch, totally understandable. This may not be for you, or you can fast forward through those parts. I would not watch it because it has some explicit sex scenes, and it does. And because there's some nudity, I wouldn't not watch it because of that. And I don't think it's not the main subject matter in the film by any means, but it tells the full story. And sometimes you have to tell a full story, and sometimes a full story is not pretty. Sometimes a full story is disturbing, and some of this is disturbing, and it was heavy, but it was excellent and so well done. So I congratulate Andra Day on her award. Oh, there's somebody else in the movie who I love. Some of the other actors I didn't know, but I did feel like the supporting cast was solid. You know, they were strong. They did what they were supposed to do. And there's one actor from from the TV show Everybody Hates Chris. I love him so much. And he was in this, and he held his own. Definitely a very different character from who he portrayed in Everybody Hates Chris. But I thought he was phenomenal. And he stood out to me partially just because I know him and I love him and I look for him. But I thought that he did an outstanding job as well. Congratulations to Lee Daniels and the entire, the writers, the entire production team. This was an excellent movie, very well done. It's about 2 hours and 10 minutes, so it's not something you're going to watch in 90 minutes. So brace yourself and be prepared, but it is so worth the watch. It's part of our history, not just history as a Black person, not just history as an artist, as a jazz singer, or any of those things. It's part of our American history. And I think it's important that we look at some of the unattractive parts of our American history. And I encourage you to watch it and to see how far we've come and how far we still have to go. I think I'm going to leave you with a little bit of my version of Lady Day. Them that's got shall have, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child, last God is on. That's just a little bit of my version. I'm glad I can still do it from time to time, but it takes work. But I just want to, always pay homage to such a trailblazer in an artistic medium that I am so committed to and a part of. And I just celebrate Lady Day. I celebrate Andra Day. I celebrate Lee Daniels for their work and commitment to this film. I celebrate Hulu for putting this out, and I hope you all watch it. And please leave your comments down below if you have any thoughts about the film, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you felt about it. And if you decide to watch it, I'd love for you to, and just to share your thoughts and ideas. Again, I'm going to be releasing movie releases on a regular basis, so I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and click on the notification so you can be informed when a new release is out. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.